Hi everyone, welcome to ITBC. I'm Bobin Seo. Up until now, we have introduced various blockchain projects in different industries, ranging from digital content to music industries. Today, we would like to introduce a different type of blockchain project that we haven't introduced before. DVP, also known as Decentralized Vulnerability Platform, is the first decentralized vulnerability platform in the world, providing efficient and transparent blockchain security information platform in order to improve the overall security awareness. To learn more about what DVP is, we have Daniel Won, CEO of DVP, with us at the studio. Hello, Daniel. It's a pleasure to have you here with us.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So, before we go on, can you please give a brief introduction of yourself and what DVP is?
Right. I'm Daniel, CEO of DVP. DVP is a quite unique project focusing on blockchain security side. What we are trying to do here is to build a white hat hacker community, an autonomous community, leveraging on the various blockchain technology. On the other side, this is also a platform for the project to post their bug bounties, also for the white hats to submit and their vulnerability they have found in different projects and get contact with different projects.
So then how did you come up with finding out about and starting DVP?
It's very interesting. A centralized vulnerability platform have been in existence for a while. They are also relatively new model, but they have been there for a while, like HackerOne in the States, Bugcrowd. But what they're lacking, we realize what they're lacking is that, first of all, it's still centralized. It's not censorship resistant in a way. It can be shut down by legal actions or something if something went wrong. The other side is that if you use a centralized system, the identity of the white hat hackers are not very well protected. So we thought cross-sourcing vulnerability platform is a good idea. It's like Uber in the security space, but you need something a little bit more. We can't really do things differently until we have this various blockchain technologies and also this token thing. You can incentivize the hackers directly. That's how the idea came out, and we start to build this thing.
And so starting DVP, can I ask what's the core value of DVP is?
Well, I think the key message here for us is really, whether you have a bounty program or not, whether you have a big security team or not, what happens is that the hackers will be looking for various bugs on your system without you knowing it. I think the key value is for us is really try to get the good hackers to find these bugs before the bad guys find it. If you got to a certain size, you'll be able to do that quite effectively.
And I've noticed that the DVP community is owned by two security teams, BCSEC and PeckShield.
Right.
Why two teams? What's unique about these two teams?
Well, first, just a small correction. The platform is not owned by these two teams, but they are our strategic partners.
Okay.
They're quite strong in security space in different ways. The BCSEC, they're quite good at traditional web side securities. They have blockchain team as well. They can do smart contract, but they originally came from the traditional side of web security. But PeckShield quite famous in the industry already. They are very good at all these smart contract audit and the blockchain, basically your blockchain security issues. They're quite good on that. So these are, I would say, they are our early strategic partner, important partners to support us in the bootstrapping period. But the community and platform ultimately is owned by the community, owned by all members of the white hat hackers in the community. We will be getting more teams like them on board. Yeah.
So I want to know, who are your strategic partners? Who are you partnered with currently?
Right. As I mentioned before, we have BCSEC, Security Teams, and PackShout, but we also have other quite famous projects like Ontology, Neo, Mix Marvel, Contentos, etc. We work quite closely with them in terms of marketing, in terms of the security issues. That's probably the most famous project we have now, but we're getting more. Yeah.
Can you give us a little bit more explanation of your strategic partners? How did you get in partnered with them, or can you give us a little bit of in-depth of how you work with them?
For example, I just gave you an example for the recent the hackathon we held in Beijing for the hackers. That was a very successful project. We even have White Hat flying all over from North America to join us.
Wow.
That event was sponsored, co-hosted by Mix Marvel, Beatbox, Contentos, Eco. These are some examples of what we do together. Some of these partners, they also post bounty program on the platform as well.
And not only strategic partners, but I'm pretty sure there are also investors as well. Who are your key investors in this project or platform?
Right, we are lucky to have quite reputable partners over there. Ontology Global Capital, OGC, as one. It's an investment arm of Ontology. They have invested in us and helped to incubate this project as well. We also have DHVC. In the circle, it's a very famous fund who has invested a lot of blockchain project as well. And we also have exchange like Beatbox investing in us.
And now we can't go by without talking about the bug bounty program.
Right.
Can you please give a small explanation of what this is?
Right. I think the idea is quite simple, actually. Traditionally, you have your own security teams. You'll be commission your own team to look for loopholes in your system. But obviously, I think the security issues covers increasingly wide area that cannot be covered by a single team or just a few person. So then there's a new model coming on where you use external forces, external parties to help you to identify potential threats in your system. One of the ways to do it is to have this, what I call the bounty program, where you post a work scope to the outside parties. It's kind of open to the public. Everybody can, under your defined policies, can do their testing, then report their findings to the project. If that's valid, a bug, a valid finding, you give them a reward either in fiat currency or in other ways.
So then, as you said, it's public, so everyone can see and everyone can upload any bugs or any fixes that they need. Is that how it works?
How it works, let's imagine what happens, for example, on the DVB platform. Say, if you're Ontology or maybe Neo, you just upgraded your smart contract, you upgraded your system, then you probably commission a bounty program saying, there's certain area I want you guys to help me find whether there are loopholes in that. Then once a hacker finds something, the hacker will write a report on what has been found, what a potential threat will be. They will also recommend some remedies to that. So they submit this report to the project, posting the bounties. The project will do their own assessment, see whether it's valid, whether it's effective. If that is, then you give the hacker certain fair currency as an incentive. That's how it goes.
And I noticed that there's something called the white hat. I'm curious to know what white hat is.
It's very interesting. The white hat is Western word, right? I think this word first came into being used around 1965. It used to describe the law-abiding cowboys in the Western movie. So if you look up in the dictionaries, white hat means someone who's honorable and trustworthy. It's a symbol of goodness. So this word is used in the hacker community quite often as well. You know, there are generally two types of hackers. One type of hackers, they do have malicious intentions. They find the bug, find the loophole, they try to use that to their own benefit. But white hats generally, they find a bug, they will try to contact the relevant project and tell you there's something wrong. There's something you can do about it, rather than using that for their own personal ends. Yeah.
So white hat does the good deeds, kind of.
That's a good guys. Yeah.
Okay. And I've noticed that there is the white hat leaderboard on the website. So I was wondering, how are these leaderboards ranked? Through what criteria?
It's not complicated. Basically, it's the leaderboard. The most active hackers are ranked by the bugs they found. Also, they receive a reputation score for a certain amount DVP reward they have received. For example, every 100 DVP they have received, they'll get 1 additional reputation points on that. I think that's a way to show our recognition of the most talented, the most active hackers on the platform.
And I was wondering, because there's so many white hats on the platform,
right?
How do you gather them, or do they come find you, or how do you gather these white hats?
We have various ways. We do have various groups in close contact with us. Sometimes they know us from other sources. They register on the platform. Sometimes they actually came from our partners. They also employ a lot of white hat hackers. They will form their own team in their personal capacity to join the platform as well. We intend to do the same in Korea as well. Yeah.
And I was wondering, how do the reputation of white hats get reported? Like, how do they gain their reputation?
Well, as I said, it's really by the contribution to the platform. How many bugs you have found, how many bugs you have reported, how many bugs reported are being accepted by the project. I think that's the most objective way to rank a white hat. Yeah. And
I'm wondering, those white hats, do they have like different sections of bugs that they fix, or do they do everything in general altogether?
Yes, certainly. If you look at our leaderboard, you'll see there are small tags. Actually, they describe what this particular white hat is good at, the different areas they are good at. So, so the project will be able to find whether these white hats are good for their particular bounty program. Yeah.
And also, speaking of loopholes, how are loophole rewards paid? Who's responsible for paying the loophole reward?
Yeah, I think there's two ways saying. The first thing we talked about through the bounty program. So the reward will be generally paid by the project posting the bounties. The other way, we have over 160 projects registered. That means if the bug are found, we can contact these registered projects very easily. But there are also a lot of blockchain projects are not registered. Then that requires, say, if a white hat actually find a bug on a project not registered, that will help the white hat to contact these projects. Yeah.
And can you give us a little bit of explanation of what DVP token is and how it's used?
Right. Currently, it's an ERC20 based on Ethereum token. We at this stage we mainly use that as a reward to the white hat hackers. We will also use that for non-hacker community members who make contribution to the system. For example, you probably organize a meetup you probably write an article about DVP, introduce that to wider audience, you'll be rewarded with DVP as well. But mainly it's through our model, what we call the vulnerability is mining thing. So basically a hacker finds some bugs, they write the report. If that is accepted by the project, the DVP token will be additional reward for them. If not, we still, the foundation still pay DVP token to the valid bug they found. Yeah.
And speaking of DVP community members, how can one become a DVP community member? Is there like a criteria, or can anyone become a member?
Well, there's no, we don't have the criteria or a kind of a bar for anyone. Anyone can join if you're a hacker. You qualify yourself through, through your work. You submit your bounties, you got accepted, you probably roll up in the leaderboard. We don't require you to provide us with anything. You prove yourself through what you did on the platform. If you're not a hacker, like I said, there are many things in the community building. It's not just finding a bug. It's about all these things, translations, doing some coding for us, doing some article for us, organize the local community, all these kind. Yeah.
And now that you're in Korea, I want to know, what do DVP want to find in the Korean market? Why Korean market?
Well, that's I got asked this a lot.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. First of all, why we're in Korea? I think Korea has a very conducive environment for blockchain project. We are blockchain related, so on the regulatory front, I think Korea is one of the few countries that actually have relatively clear framework how to deal with this whole industry, and I think it's generally quite positive. On the user side, the general users, we do see quite a big user base in Korea, and most important of all, they have been through a lot of blockchain projects. They know what to look for. They're educated. I think that's what we are looking for. I think our primary target here, first of all, is always white hat hackers. We're trying to build a community locally here, but a platform or a community cannot be successful without, support from other users as well. So we're looking for their support as well.
And now I want to know, what's the future plan for DVP? What do you want to achieve in the long term?
Why? I think the ultimate goal is, first of all, we want to build this community as an autonomous community, which is run by the hackers, owned by the hackers, the good ones.
Yes, of course.
I think that's the ultimate goal. Also, by building that community, we hope we can improve the security situation for the blockchain as a whole. I think that's the ultimate goal over here. We are experimenting this new way of organizing ourselves to provide some good to the whole industry. But in the medium term, we definitely will do more international expansion in Korea, in Japan, maybe in the States as well, to expand the diversity of this white hat community over here. More skill set, more geographic locations. That's what we want to achieve in the short term. Once we reach a certain mass in that community, we'll be able to give more power to the community to run this whole thing.
And before we end, would you like to say any last words to our Korean viewers?
Well, it's very simple. Join us. It's worth it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. And I guess that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us here today, Daniel.
Thank you very much.
We look forward to the future of DVP.
Definitely.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.